Does my smile confuse you? Or remind you you're here?
You're trying to get more musical with that, which is fine. We always do that because we're doing the most serious show on humor, silliness, comedy, comic sense, things that are so important that none of us ever learned in school. So Rain, producer, and she is going to throw a few titles. You could call them titles in a book I wrote 25 years ago. Begin after I tell everybody that this is comic sense is the most important thing over common sense, and comic sense is the closest thing we have, ironically, to common sense. And over all the shows, we'll explain why that's true. We also say, these all came out of my little lovely pie hole, my mouth, my head, my heart, my soul, that comedy can reveal truth faster than philosophy. I love to repeat these lines because nobody's ever heard them. First time you're going to hear about it, really do want the three people that listen to this show to think about it. Yeah, because we're not marketing, and I don't have a Kardashian or a girl sitting up here. I know a lot of beautiful girls showing her beautiful ass and her boobs. That would be comedy. And if she was sitting right here, you wouldn't listen to a single word I said, which would probably make you smart. Okay, I'm making fun of myself. All right, so comic sense is more important than common sense. Comedy can reveal truth faster than philosophy. Right. Comedy is the ultimate reality check. The ultimate reality check. We're going to show people why. And comedy is consciousness. So these are all new, woo-woo. Google them, schmoogle them, see if you can find them. I hope I've been yakking like this for 30 years. Maybe somebody ran with it. I don't care. Check it out. Now let's get to this book that I wrote.
Philosophy.
What do you want to ask? We jump around from chapter to chapter.
Well, first of all, I want to talk about, honestly, I've never told you how clever and funny and witty the title is. So I know that initially this is not the name you wanted for your book. You wanted Does My Smile Confuse You? But
which is the title.
Now.
No, I forgot to, as usual. I always forget my name. I never introduce myself, which I like. I do it on purpose. Never introduce myself and rarely introduce the show.
Yeah.
So Does My Smile Confuse You? I assume people see, if they stop,
Does my smile
they see the title and they see my name. So really? So I have to open every show as if I'm Daryl Rucco. Does my smile confuse you? No, I don't do that.
Does Bill Maher does that in every show? Like, this is Bill Maher, tonight's show, guys.
Yeah, he has his thing. He said, he talks about the news and he comes out and everybody pretty much comes out the same. They talk about their podcast, who they are. There's a format.
Yeah. I guess with you is whatever comes natural because you're untamable.
That's part of what life is improvisational. Mm-hmm. Humor and comic sense allow you in life, which is a big part of what we're selling, to actually be improvisational because we don't know.
Well, yeah.
We have an outline. We have a couple things we're going to talk about. But words, conversation, every conversation you have is improvisation.
Yeah.
And remember, we don't want people to enter a room with an agenda.
Yeah.
They'll be much happier if they enter every room with no agenda.
I think people are so afraid to come in with no agenda.
Well, they feel self-conscious. They feel insecure.
Instead of just be.
Exactly. So we're trying to get them to be. And I had a lovely discussion with Rain's mother, who once a week at least she critiques me and the show in the best possible sense. She is extremely complimentary And she said, Gerald, don't worry if you don't have 37 million followers. If you start and people find the show and you get better, which I'm trying to, hopefully I am, at articulating what we're trying to do. Your mom was right in all of her criticism. She likes some of the stuff we say, but she said she didn't like the idea that I said, this is just one of her criticisms, which I can totally see her point. In fact, I told her it's the reason I said, well, Rain and I are selling you on a sense of humor. And then we had a long discussion about, well, Daryl, her mother, you're not selling anything. You really care. You're passionate. You want to help society, you know, whatever, all this stuff. Sounds silly, me wanting to help society. It's so lame because comics just want to make people laugh, but I'm not a stand-up comic.
No. You're a comedy therapist.
Well, I've lifted people all my life. I've used humor and comedy to lift everybody and lift myself. So the reason the title of the book became Foolosophy,
Which I love.
is we've talked about it in other shows. My publisher, editor didn't want me to use Does My Smile Confuse You? So Rain and I decided to use it for our podcast.
Yeah.
So
And it's funny because-
fellow podcasters out there in podcast line, I'm sure you all understand it because you know what I love about a lot of the podcasts I listen to?
Yes. What?
There's a lot of smart people out there.
Yes.
So it gives me hope
Yes.
because we're really talking about intelligence.
Yes.
So the subtitle is Humor is the Key to a Healthy Mind. It's actually so much more than that.
But when you say like there are really smart people out there, I would think that you are referring to all the YouTube now that you've been watching, you're discovering all these people that are really smart. But I want to also mention something to you because this is really new to you, all these platforms, that they work by algorithm, which I know you hate that word. But what that means in this case is that if whatever you search for, then your algorithm starts feeding out of that. So if you feed it great things, smart things, it will give you more. But if people are watching idiotic things, stupid things, that's what's going to be.
Yeah, well, we want to be just stupid enough so you have some fun. So I'm not afraid talking about stupid, but genius. So my cousin is an artist, and I don't know if you can blow this up later, but on the cover, unsolicited by me, I never said a word. I gave my cousin the titles. He didn't even have the content chapters. He only had the titles, and he came up with, "You can't hide your greatness from me." You really can't. I can find a golden nugget in everybody as I used to.
Really do, yes.
But what he came up with, because he's a cartoonist, an artist, he came up with the Greek stairs and a kind of suspect version, little miniature drawing of me reading a scroll of toilet paper at the top of the Greek stairs. So that's what we think about this stuff. It should be read basically while you're sitting on the toilet.
Oh, we're gonna read the reviews on Amazon next, like no one of our chapters.
Yeah.
Because they're so much fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So we're going to title the show, because the chapter she first picked out, I Like My Pain Straight. Okay, so let me...
Less sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will help.
Oh, less sugar coating.
Less sugar coating. Humor is always searching for the truth. So I like my pain straight means all the periods of time I went through, all the decades, everybody and all of my friends did every drug known to mankind, trying to expand, open their consciousness. LSD, I got to talk the last 2 years of his life, sit one-on-one, thanks to the Stallone family, because we were at the Foundation Room with Timothy Leary. So Timothy Leary was the drug czar. And he's also a doctor and highly educated man. But of course, they tried to put him down and all this stuff because he was trying to expand consciousness. And like you always said, anybody trying to open people's hearts, souls, and minds,
They're being canceled.
taboo, no good. So I like my pain straight means that I didn't do any drugs. I didn't do alcohol. I just sat and embraced. It's Proust. You haven't read his book or books, but basically you have to own and embrace your own pain. And once you can surrender and own it, actually own it, and you got to experience it fully. Like I mentioned though on some other show, AA. I used to go with my brother was an alcoholic with other drug issues, and I sit because I love to audit, listen to what they were great storytellers, especially up in the Palisades. They were all actors, so they could tell horrific stories.
You say names?
Or yeah, I could say names, but they told horrific stories. People got emotional. They were crying. They were laughing, but they knew that they had to bottom out. You have to bottom out, and that's why I like my pain straight. Give it to me. I can take it. And even when I couldn't take it, I had to hurt. I had to go down deep into my soul. And now I won't get into, that's a summation of what I like my pain straight. So
I was gonna ask you, do you think I handle pain good? I think I do.
yeah, you were telling me just today, because Wayne fell skiing and hurt her back severely. And she said, Daryl, I'm doing what we talked about. I hurt so much when I go out into public, I'm not transferring my pain. So what most people do is they think, if I give you some of my pain, honk my horn, get angry at you, it's an outlet. It doesn't work that way. You got to find other outlets. You got to find sports. You got to find creativity. You got to find this. You can't find yelling. You can't find beating the shit out of somebody. You can't try killing somebody because you're in pain. All these guys who go up to the towers, they're all in pain. Everybody's in pain.
Yeah, it's fair to do it for yourself and it's fair to do it for others.
Yeah, so here's the most painful thing for all people. I'm going to cut to the chapter if I can find it.
Well, let me start with this speed dating, which is...
Oh, you want to start with it? Well, that's not... Well, it is painful.
Well, yeah.
Okay, what page is that now? You're going to mess up.
I
thought we were going to page 91.
This is improv.
We're going to look like we don't know what we're talking about.
Because we don't. Part 4, I like my pace straight. And
Yeah.
then we're going to go to the chapter 8, which is speed
What
dating.
page number is it?
81.
81. Okay, here we go. All right, you want me to read it?
No, I want to read it.
Okay, we'll read it slowly and I'll
Yes.
break it down.
Okay.
Stop along
Yes.
the way.
I will stop
It's
every...
a true story
I will
about
stop every...
a date in born and raised in LA. Models, actresses, everybody comes here from all over the world. This is one of those stories that everybody goes.
You always say that everybody comes all over the world to meet as somebody.
Somebody. That's right. Which will be our next chapter.
Yes.
Has anyone seen my identity?
Correct.
Okay, speed dating
Okay.
in LA.
Naturally, I could not get over my ex-girlfriend in one night. But a few months later, at the supermarket, I met a girl that so excited me, I had
Excited me.
that so excited me, I had to approach her.
Okay.
I had just made a salad at the salad bar, so typical of you, still making salads until today. So I grabbed 2 plastic forks and walked up to her and asked her if she would like to go to the beach and share my salad with me. She told me she couldn't, she didn't have time, but we exchanged phone numbers for a later date.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Most of the phone numbers or cards people give out, they throw the cards in the trash. The phone numbers are phony. They're not real. These are all incidents that happen in LA, so you have to have even a sense of humor about that. Because you're handing out a card, and the chances are taking a girl's phone number, you're never going to get it. That's why guys, to close the deal, they get, well, give me your, now the modern world, they can get them much faster. They can find out their information.
Yes.
So the old days, not so good. Go to the next segment.
I think it was romantic too.
It was more romantic.
I called her as soon as I got home, leaving her a message about how excited I was at making her acquaintance. I called her the following day, which was a Monday, and made a date to go out that Saturday. She agreed, and I hung up the phone even more excited than before.
Okay, so I did something stupid people have written books about dating, and they say, oh, you got to wait at least 5 days or 7 days. So I, of course, being the fool that I am, I called immediately. I called as soon as I could. Now
You're still doing that since then. You did the same thing with me.
I'm only a bigger fool. I haven't become less so. All right, continue.
I called her Wednesday just to talk, and she told me that she had to do a photo shoot that Sunday. She's
that's
gonna
a
cancel? She's gonna cancel?
A photo shoot.
She shared her concern. Yeah, exactly. A photo shoot.
Everybody's doing a photo
Yes.
shoot. And now with selfies, you're all movie stars.
Well, I don't know if one or two. One is that she had a photo shoot, or second, that she wanted to have an excuse to leave you if it wasn't going well, or third, that some other guy invited her and she's been waiting for that.
She was waiting for a better deal.
Yeah.
She might have waited for a better deal. So you should read those 2 lines over.
She shared her concern about going out on Saturday and that she had to get home early. I attempted to change the date so we would not be under pressure of rushing, because a romantic does not like to be rushed. But she insisted on keeping the date.
Okay, so I'm a romantic. She was worried about how she looked with not enough sleep for her photo shoot.
It was a Vogue photo shoot. I called her that Friday just to confirm the time, and I told her I made a reservation at my favorite Italian restaurant because food is one of my big passions as well as romance. Once more, she impressed upon me the importance of getting her home early because of her big shoot the next day. This time, there was even more anxiety in her voice than earlier in the week. I did not say anything to her, but I was beginning to get really irritated and starting to lose excitement in meeting this person.
Totally understand.
I love that you even say meeting this person. You don't even call her the
I'm already losing it. I mean, she's
This
now.
person.
I'm getting more
I'm
detached.
personal like that.
I'm getting turned off. All that stuff. Yeah.
I pick her up at 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday evening, wearing my lucky shirt. How did your lucky shirt look?
Well, it's not only that. I got to tell you, that's a fabrication.
Okay.
I'm not superstitious,
Okay.
so I just threw that in. So
Okay.
it was green.
It was
It's green. We both
We
agree.
met when I was wearing all green.
It was green.
Mexican
It
independent.
was green.
Yes. And the moment I saw her, the excitement in me built up once again. I opened car door for her. I opened the car door for her, and before she entered, she looked at me in the most serious fashion. And once again, remind me of how important it was that I get her home at a decent time.
Oh, my veins, I was starting to boil. Okay.
Bubble boil. I like that. Bubble
Boiling
boil.
over. Yes, yes.
I started the car and did not get 2 blocks down the street before she stressed the importance again, this time apologetically explaining to me why the day had to be short. At this juncture, I snapped mentally and drove in silence to Jack in the Box in Santa Monica. When I pulled in the lot, she asked me what I was doing. I stared straight ahead. Without saying a word, I pushed the call button, ordered 4 tacos, drove through, grabbed the food, and head back towards her apartment. She kept pushing in the form of many questions regarding what was I doing. I pulled up to her house, got out of the car, still in dead silence, got the door for her once more, asked her to get out of the car, handed her the pack of tacos, and asked her if that was fast enough.
So I got her home in plenty of time.
That was a fabrication.
I saved myself at least $500. I was taking her to the nicest Italian restaurant. I would have ordered a bottle of wine, all this stuff. So I saved a lot of money. And now
and then on top of that, you even treat yourself to 7-Eleven. She was not.
That's the part you're gonna.
She was not happy
about me.
But I was convulsed. What's convulsed?
Convulsed means I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Really enjoying my retribution. Yeah, a little bit of revenge. I'm not big on revenge.
No, me neither. But I had those innocent revenge like this.
Well, it is kind of innocent.
I got into the car without saying a word. I drove off. Now I went back to Jack in the Box, got my own tacos. I want Jack in the Box.
This is the part I love.
But I don't need.
Yeah.
Went to 7-Eleven, got a 6-pack of beer, went home, put on the TV, ate my food, and drank my beer. Stewed in my anger, frustration, pain, and thought about how stupid life was becoming. To wash down my frustration, I followed my tacos with 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's.
2 pints of Ben & Jerry's.
Pints of Ben & Jerry's.
Okay.
No wonder America's overweight. There are probably millions of romantics just like me.
Romantics like me.
Who turn to food and televisions for solace. Solace. Maybe we can only watch romance on television, in movies, and read about it in books because in life, we are witnessing the death of romance. Romance takes time. Maybe all we have time for is speed sex.
So, that's speed dating. When I heard that stupid term where people go for 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it was, face to face, and lie to one feather. Yeah. So there's so much lying. You can do it over the phone. You can do texting. You can do all the modern equipment allows you to really lie and talk about how great you are.
It's so interesting. I promise you that it's so interesting to me when I hear that people are meeting each other and they're lying to each other, like from the beginning. I promise you, I've never met anyone in my entire life and had lied about anything about my life.
Yeah.
I have never had to put more or take less or feel embarrassed of this or had to add so I can look more interesting.
You know, I have another term or expression. We punish ourselves to learn. So the eating of ice cream or drinking or sort of much pain when you're rejected. Yeah. So we find ways to punish ourselves because what we desired, wanted to go this way, went that way. So at the end of whatever bad experiences you have, that's why tragedy plus time, this is a nothing tragedy, plus time equal funny. So it was very cathartic when I went home and wrote the story. I was laughing again upon reflection. That's why humor, comedy developed with reflection. So Socrates, or life without reflection, is not worth living. However, it's more worth living if Socrates had gone further, if you can smile and laugh at it and develop your sense of humor so you can listen and take rejection.
I mean, he probably did, right? He was so...
Well, of course he did, because he was willing to drink the poison because of what he believed in. In other words, they wanted to... He was opening, what was he doing? Opening people's minds. He was big on asking questions. That was his big thing. He didn't try to act like the smartest guy in the room.
Yes.
So that's why I surrender to the fool, the jester, the clown. It's the story I told, for a moment I'll digress, about King Solomon and his jester he had. A real mythical story. So when the jester, after years and years of telling the truth, he said something the king didn't like, and he said, off with his head. But he really said, hang him. So, great humor, great wit. The jester said, okay, king, I have to repeat this story because it's okay, King. I know you're a man of your word. I will allow you, not that he had any choice, to hang me. However, I have one request. The king bestowed it upon him. He said, yes, I will be true to your request. He said, I want to choose the tree that I can hang myself. Have your men hang me from. 4 men took him on a tour of the world because he never found the tree that he wanted to be hung on. So all expenses paid. He traveled because he had a sense of wit and a sense of humor. So there you go.
That was funny.
So now it's funny.
All the expenses pay. I love it.
All expenses
You're
paid.
thinking like me now.
The humor was made for it. So now we can jump around because we have 170 chapters in our book.
We're gonna go for Has Anyone Seen My Identity?
Yes. And if you look, you see a little comical image of me staring into a mirror. What? Question mark. Has anyone seen my identity?
Help.
What? Can you read?
help.
Look.
It says, help. Have you seen my identity? Last seen sometime during my childhood. Answers to Spot.
Oh, answers to Spot. Spot the dog. Okay, so read that again. Just the version.
Help. Have you seen my identity? Last seen sometime during my childhood.
Okay, so
Answer-
as children, that's very important. As children, we all have an identity. We're children, and we're child at play, all the things we talk about. So it's all of the stuff and the crap that the adults start putting into our head. That's why when I also told your mom in our conversation today, and she laughed, even Picasso, a great artist, said close to his 80, 90, however long he lived, he said, it took me a long time to become a child again. So let's start with my identities and why this is how I developed my sense of humor, why my comic sense developed as the most vital. I realized the most important thing. These are just some of the identities, some of which are true, some are not. They're people's perception. So we're trying to open up your perspective, use the humor and comic sense. If you can widen your perspective, I promise your life will be infinitely better. You'll be smarter. You'll be able to overcome your stupidity. So I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm saying I am starving, hungry to learn. I'm so curious. And so I've always come around people smarter than me. Just this morning, Rain said to me while we were having coffee, she goes, I'm wiser than you. I'm smarter
It's
than
a
you.
joke. I'm playing.
Well, it's a joke, but we all know in jokes, there's some truth.
I think
And the truth is she is. In so many areas, and I have to use humor to surrender to her intelligence and whatnot, not resist it. Oh, you're not smarter than me. Come on. What are you, a bunch of infantiles? Okay, so just beginning with a couple of the identities. Fat kid, shy kid, those are 2 of them. First of all, I was a corpulent, fat little porker because my mom was the best cook. So, but I was still, I was star of Little League Baseball. I was bigger, a little taller, so I could hold more weight, but I was a fat kid. There's no doubt about it. So they teased me about that. I was shy because I was fat.
You were shy.
I was shy. Who believes I'm shy now?
You were shy? I was never shy. I was always myself since I was born, like the first moment.
Yeah, but you weren't fat.
When I was born, I weighed almost 10 pounds. Born. No, and my mom told me that they brought me, like, you know how they rolled you on that sheet?
Or weren't you going to
pink-
choke yourself?
Yeah, it was going to be natural, and then it had to be C-section because the umbilical cord was around my neck. But, so, they wrapped you on this sheet, like the pink and blue sheet, typical from the hospital. And they delivered me to my mom, and my mom says that I was crying, like, but I was like moving, like, like this, and she opened me, like she released me.
Open me. Yeah. She
Like a
feed you.
burrito.
She feed you from the brown bag they put you in.
Like
This is a to-go order.
Like a burrito, and wrapped me, and it unwrapped me.
You are a beaner.
I'm a beaner, so it unwrapped me like a burrito. And the moment she did, I went, ah. She said, from moment
Really?
one, you did,
Really?
you expressed yourself, you were there.
Wow.
Also, before that moment, when literally my mom had me in that moment,
Right.
the first expression the doctor said was, she's all eyes. And because it's the moment I came out, I had this black,
You
big
still
eyes.
do. I got this for you.
But I only not had big eyes. I was also observing everything. And the doctor was
You
like,
already
"Please."
take care.
Yes, like you can tell I was observing.
How do children learn? That's all they have is their observation. So we learn to talk, walk.
The point is that you and me, I find you really similar to me, meaning really outgoing and fun.
Well, I am, but it took
Funny.
time.
But that's the thing. I never knew.
I had to free myself.
I never knew that you were shy. I was not shy. That was me from the beginning. You develop yourself into
Yeah.
get out of that shyness.
So these are all about identity. So with a sense of humor, what we're talking about, it's not about, again, telling joke. Sense of humor is the intelligence to be able to listen and not take any criticism in a negative vein, because you don't know where that person is, especially children, they're cruel and they try and get to you. So I had to learn very quickly, what is this all about? Why are we being mean to one another? Most of the time, the other person that's doing the meanness, the criticism, the putting you down, they have the problem. It's transference, pain transfer.
And I shared with you the other day that I always, since I was a little kid, there were kids that were mean to me, and I told you the reasons.
Yes.
And didn't I say to you, I never took it personal. I always understood
That's amazing.
that it was them who were something. And unfortunately, I was thinking, I hope they can see things differently so they can be as happy as me and they don't have to be mean. Because why are you mean as a human? And I was 5, 6, 7 years old thinking these thoughts.
There's no way, unless you have incredible memory, why that was true, why you didn't take it personal.
Well, it's true because I remember the meanness.
But I mean, do you remember how that was just natural? It had to be
It was
instinctual.
always instinctual. I've always
It
had
had to be.
this heart of kindness and community and togetherness, and we're a team and we're in this together. I've never have comprehended how people can divide themselves. You are you, I am me. That's like not who I have. That's
Well,
not
at 5 or 6 years old, that to me is fun.
But that, you know what? That at the end of the day, you know how they say that when you forgive, you're forgiving for yourself, because otherwise you're holding the grudge. But I told you about Buddha that said drinking the poison is expecting the other one to die.
Yeah.
So to that point, what was I saying? Sorry. Meaning, like I always knew that.
Well, we don't need to get with drinking the poison. We can move on, because the gist of what we're saying is we're telling.
I was gonna say something in the point, but
And if it comes back to you, we'll interject it, but we can't wait for it because the bus pulls out up at 5:30. So we're not going to be able to get through all of these, but I'll keep moving along, because what we're talking about is any label, any identity that is thrust upon you. Let it go. And that means the top. In other words, so you can take compliments and not go, well, I'm wonderful. No, take a compliment the same way you take a criticism.
oh.
And that's balance. You remember, okay. No, go in.
No, I forgot again. No, same thing as they said, like forgiveness and you do it to yourself for you.
Yes.
I guess that's how I was reasoning the whole situation, where when kids were being mean to me, if I would have taken it personal, at the end of the day, who I'm hurting is myself. So I understood that I'm not gonna hurt myself. These kids are already trying to hurt me.
Wow.
I'm not gonna add to their hurt, to
Yeah.
hurt myself.
Most people are self-abusive.
And
So-
I was like, no. And I will even step up, even if they wouldn't invite me to certain things and stuff. I will hear that they were gonna meet this place, not for an ice cream. I will arrive because I was like, there was no reason. I've done nothing to you guys for you to not include me. But then I found out that because their moms and my moms were different, because my mom had a business, she had to be an entrepreneur, had an independent woman, and the other mothers were, you know, the mom, dad goes to work. So they treated me also
And
different.
you're an only child.
And I'm an only child.
So those are actually good points. So people can understand a little more how you happen to have this gift, this instinctual gift, which children laugh at, just like I laughed at my mom's fear that she tried to hear, but I was laughing because I was scared. She was giving me that ugly, fearful guilt face. And after playing with me and being so nurturing, as I told last week, I couldn't understand it, so I laughed because I was scared. So sometimes you go to a scary movie, as we talked about, you see something that you're laughing because you're in fear.
Yeah.
So that's why John Dubin, who's on our show last and will be around more often, he said that humor is the absence of fear. And that's the truth. So in the moment when you're conscious, really conscious, and you're omnipresent, your sense of humor will just go, I can listen to this person try and put me down all day long. It's Cyrano de Bergerac. There's a play. And his nose is like Pinocchio, it's run. And he supports that. They're trying to get to him. It's always people trying to get to me to get to you.
Yeah, but
But if you go directly into it, you go, oh, well, not only do I have a big nose, but look at this bald head.
Yeah.
And look at this big fat
yeah, you
belly.
always told me that. Add it. Put more. Give them a show.
It stops them.
Yeah.
If you support
sure.
putting yourself down, you're going to have more fun with these idiots mirroring back to them what an idiot they are.
That fire.
And why are you putting me down?
Exactly.
If you could ask that, if you
Yes.
just go, you know what, hey Jimmy, I don't know why you're putting me down. Do you have a bandage? Your dog dying?
Yeah.
I don't care if
Your
you're
parents
7
get
years old.
divorced.
Yeah, I mean, did mom beat the shit out of you this morning? Or dad kick you in the balls? Well, I'm sorry, fathers out there. I know.
No.
No, but I mean,
But yeah.
it's just a little levity. I have to talk like that. I can't be so straight that I can't say stupid stuff like that. Because it is. It's all stupid. And so identities, we always have to come back to our president. He's such a prototype for all the things that I despise in a character. And by the way, what are the two things I told you all my life? I look for someone who is a character and has character. Now, I could give Trump, because most of his so-called fans think he is a character, because he just blurts out whatever's in his mind. He's not the kind of character I'm talking about. And he certainly doesn't have any character. Not the character that we're going to discuss in the future. So I don't care. He's running the show. I'll support whatever I have to do to get him out of office now.
I was gonna add, just came to my mind, add to what John said.
Yeah.
You know how you add to Socrates' quote,
John
I'm adding
Dubin.
to John
Oh, yeah.
Dubin's quote, that
Yeah.
he said, humor is the absence
Of
of
fear.
fear and the presence of love.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Is my other silly title. Love is all the confidence you need. So
Humor is love.
humor is love. Rain and I have the best relationship because anything she says, and she's a fireball, guys. She is a Latin. She's smart. She's witty. She could kick your ass verbally, and she speaks the truth. And she's exactly what her mother talked about in our conversation today. Be authentic. She's very authentic. And Veronica is her name. She wants me to be more authentic. which of course I'm always trying to do, be true to thyself. So allow things like just came out of me, my dad doing this, kicking me in the ball, whatever comes out of you. So we have a little more freedom
Yes.
in our conversations, a little more freedom. You watch these other podcasts, there's a lot of way too over the top serious stuff. And they're talking and they sit there very, yes, well, I heard Sam Harris, and I wish I knew the young podcaster. It was great, and I love Sam Harris. And by the way, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, wit, sense of humor, these guys all know. But they're going against thousands of years of religion, trying to talk about, look, don't label me even an atheist. Even Einstein said something like, look, I'm keeping a window open in case there's the old, in case there's a God. Don't you want to be received in heaven? I'm sure Einstein did if he believed in any God whatsoever. And there's been thousands of gods. So geography, the books you read like this, we haven't even gotten to 4 or 5 of my identities. So you let me know if we still have enough
Stories, we do.
enough time.
I would love to read them, but I just like to speed them up, and then you go up to the ones that touch you the most.
Okay. Well,
Fat kid, shy kid, star athlete, dumb jock,
dumb jock.
jock.
So they think of athletes. They used to think of athletes as stupid.
I see the goo.
But that's all they could do. And we're prima donnas. You're spoiled if you're a great athlete.
Yes.
You don't have to think. And they
You get away with murder.
Oh, you faint. You go out and sleep with O.J. Simpson, and he wasn't dumb.
Rest in peace.
I'm just saying that his ego, comedy, humor is. We're trying to get the ego out of the way. So any identity somebody puts on you, you're not buying it.
Yes.
You know who you are. We want you to learn who you are through laughing at yourself, through laughing and loving yourself, because you can laugh at your shortness, your baldness, your fatness, whatever it is. That means you got to stay fat. People would say, Daryl, are you a fattest? And I'd go, yeah, because guess what? I now joined the club. Yeah. But no, I think it's unhealthy. Bill Maher talks about it. It's not about being fat. Like you said, models, Marilyn Monroe, you go back to that period, they were all what you consider not the models of today or Victoria's Secret. But then we went right through this period where models were heavy. And then they okayed it that you could be as heavy as you want.
Yeah.
That's wrong. It's not healthy.
Streets. Dumbest kid in school.
Okay.
Old.
We should stop there.
You were? Or they told you?
I felt like it
What?
because I did. Because all my friends were smarter than me.
Oh.
And that's why the old jokes, hang around friends, people that are smarter than you.
But
No, but they weren't.
way? No, in what way?
Okay, I'll tell you the way.
they happy?
My dad left school at 12. And my mom, they were not educated in college and all this stuff. All my other friends, the best colleges, their parents went to, they were all professionals, doctors, attorney, judges. So all my best friends, they all went to the best colleges. They got every degree. They were all this stuff. So as my relationship grew with them, I learned a lot because I was around smart people. So they could tell me about books and things like I told your mom to, that I didn't start reading until I was in my 30s and 40s. And as I told your mom, I'd already lived such a rich life. Remember my PhD? Mm-hmm. I have the greatest PhD. Play Harder, Daryl. By the way, that's my first name, if you didn't get that. Play Harder, Daryl. So through play, which is why we're here, people are always looking for purpose. Bullshit. Nietzsche said that your purpose is to play, creativity, to be. Being is highly underrated.
To be or not to be.
Yeah, sorry.
That is the question.
Yeah, great people said being. You're actor. We always be in the moment. Here is the only time. This is the place to live. And the fuller you live and the more you can laugh at yourself, your fear of death is going to diminish. Very simple equation. Please continue.
But also, if you live in the present, health-wise, it's also the best thing you can do for your health. Because if you're living in the past or in the future and you're stressing about these conditions that don't exist, they are only in your mind, instead of being in the present, your machine is also feeling that, and you're taking days and maybe years of your life because of this stress that you start accumulating.
Yes.
Because you're not living in the present.
Yes. And so the objection to technology is this: with your head down. I always say it, the animals in the jungle with their head down, and it's a jungle out there, are the ones eaten alive. And so that's why we didn't get to watch that today. But that's why the dumbing down of our society, there have been books written about it, have been happening for a long time. And that's why I came out of my little little beach cave, to share what I know, what I feel. And your mom wants me to tell you about how many books I read. So in addition to having a rich life, I started to read, which only affirmed and confirmed what I already knew, but it enhanced my life tremendously. And I do recommend and suggest people that you get back to reading, because I love to write notes in the note annotation. I think they've on, I can't remember the word, but I write little responses and I look back at it. And years later, you can almost reflect.
Yeah.
Take a book, 5 years later, you may interpret something completely different than you did at that time. And that's what's great about opening your mind, which is also what we're trying to do.
I have to confess that I do read a lot in my computer or my phone things, and I'm learning, but I need to get better at opening books, and I have books that I want to read.
Yeah.
But one thing I gotta confess is that I might not read a lot of books, which I want to get better at, but every time that I've opened a book, whether I read the whole book or 40 pages or one, or a paragraph, it always feels so enriching.
Yeah.
Always. Like
It fed you.
it really feeds me.
It's great. It feeds you. It's food. Everything is food. But this is food for thought. So the dumbing down of us, you've got to become a thinker. Rain and I were actually talking about humor. Comedy is, it's a quote, comedy is for those who think. Comics are some of the smartest people out there, people, believe me. Comedy is not only an art, and I will prove it. Comedy is not only an art, it's a science, it's a philosophy, it's a psychology. What we were talking about, that's a reverse psychology. If somebody's attacking you, reverse psychology, put it back into their face.
Great advice.
Yeah, so comedy is richer than anybody has ever expressed or broken down. It's not about telling jokes and being a comic, not what we're selling. We're trying to make your individual life out there in the world much, much more fun, much more playful, and make everything and everyone around you happier, including yourself. Lift your fellow man. Use your sense of humor. Don't put him down. Schadenfreude, getting off, laughing on other people's pain and misery, that's our history. Our history is replete with Schadenfreude. You slipped on the banana peel. I got news for you. Your turn is coming.
Exactly.
Would you like to end it now? We'll get back because we got to.
Of course.
Yeah. And what did we say at the end of our lovely show?
Thank you for the show. It was lovely.
Thank you. You're lovely to look at, delightful to know. I miss you so. Go ahead, end this show before I start singing, and they find out I'm a singer. Come on, you don't do that to you.
Well, as I always say, remember, stay human, keep the change.
I don't laugh because life is easy. I laugh because I see the mind can sell you stories, then charge you rent to be free. They call it normal to to panic, to worship the loudest fear. But a thought becomes a prison the moment you hold it near. So I ask one honest question, not to win, just to wake. Is this truth I'm believing, or just memory and ache? I use humor like a flashlight in a room full of certain lies. Comic sense isn't comedy, it's sight with a smile in its eyes. Critical thinking is mercy, consciousness is breath and release. If you can laugh at the story, you can finally step into peace. Sometimes I'm quiet and listening to a child asking, is love safe? I don't fix him with answers, I stay and give him space. So laugh, not to escape, but to see what's always been true. Nothing real is against you, and life is quietly loving you. Does my smile confuse you, or remind you you're here? Does my smile confuse you, or